We will be discussing the schedule 1, 2, and 3 here in this session. So schedule 1, as you can see here, it is basically the things which are considered as a deemed supply, right? Deemed supply means where there is no consideration involved in a supply, like supply is happening, goods are moving, goods are changing hands, but there is no consideration involved. And if there is no consideration involved, still the supply will be considered as a supply under the purview of GST. So in that case, what you need to do is you need to assess these transactions if happening in your business, or if you are in any case involved in such type of transactions where you are not receiving any consideration, then it will be considered as a supply under GST. Like first, the case is the permanent transfer disposal of business asset. In any business, if the business is doing any disposal of the asset, that we have discussed in the previous sessions also, that if there is any permanent transfer of asset, or you are disposing of any asset of the business, that is considered as a supply, even if that business is not against any consideration. But there is a clause available for that, is provided input tax credit has been availed on such assets. So in that case, if you are disposing of or permanently transferring any asset without consideration, then it will be considered as a supply, but the input tax credit has been availed on such assets, then only it will be considered as a supply. Then next point, it says supply of goods or services between related person or distinct person as mentioned under section 25, provided such a supply is made in the ordinary course of business or for furtherance of business. See, this point simply says that if the goods are moving without consideration between the related persons or distinct persons. Now, you need to know here what is related person and the distinct persons. Related person here means like any person, they are related to each other if such persons are, you can say, the director of one another's business. Two people are there and they are director of each another businesses. That can be the related person. I'm giving you the examples of that. If let's say the two persons are legally recognized partners in a business, they are holding the position of partners in a particular business, or they are in relation of employer and employee, then they will be the related person. Or they are holding not less than 25% or more of the outstanding shares or the voting rights of each other companies. या फिर you can say that they are directly or indirectly controlling each other, or directly or indirectly they are controlled by any person. All these situations will tell you that the two persons who are involved in the supply are the related person. Related here means officially either they are holding the same office, either they are in the employer-employee relation, either they are in the director's position of each other's organization, or either they are holding more than 25% voting right or shares of the company, or they are holding they are controlled by particularly any one person, or they both are controlling any particular person. In all these situations, the two persons can be the related persons. So if any supply is happening between these related persons, that will be considered as a supply, with though it is without consideration. If without consideration, then also it will be considered as a supply, and it is called as a deemed supply. Then distinct person. Distinct person here simply means that any person who has obtained or is required to obtain the registration under two different states or two different you can say union territories. Like if the person is registered, his business is registered in two different states. It has having business, and for the taxable person purpose, it has been registered under two different states or two different union territories. That same person will be considered as two different distinct persons. Uh, why? Because it is registered under the two separate states as a two separate entities. So in that case, it will be the distinct person. So any transaction happening, any supplies happening between such distinct persons will be considered as a deemed supply if it is without consideration also. Then comes the next, that is principal supplying goods to his agent. Next is agent supplying goods to his principal. Though both of them are working on behalf of each other, but still if the supply is happening and the goods are moving, in that case, it will be considered as a deemed supply, though it is without consideration. Then last is the taxable person importing services from either a related person or any of his establishments outside India. So any of the taxable person, this example we have discussed in the previous session also, any taxable person who is importing the services may be related to, maybe from a related person or any of his establishments outside India. If it is getting the services imported from wherever, from the related person maybe, or from any of his establishments, that will be considered as a supply, though he might not be paying the consideration for it. So under Schedule 1, if any of these things are happening with the related person or the distinct person, within the principal or the agent relationship, with the taxable person where import of services is considered, or permanent transfer or disposal of business assets. In all these cases, it will be considered as a deemed supply even without consideration. So these all are the situations where there is no consideration, but the supply is considered as a deemed supply. Then coming to the Schedule 2, Schedule 2 simply says that there should not be any confusion related to these transactions, like what all transactions that have been mentioned here will be considered as a supply under GST. So any transfer of title and goods, maybe the ownership is not transferred, but the title is transferred. The right in goods have been transferred. So that will be considered as a supply of goods. Like maybe transfer of title is done right now, but the ownership of those goods will be transferred in the future when the final payment will be received. So that will be considered as a supply of goods. Then in the case when the business goods forming part of the asset of a business transferred or disposed of by or under any direction of the person carrying on the business. But the clause here is that such goods are transferred so that no longer form part of those assets. And moreover, such a transfer takes place whether or not for a consideration. Like if any of the assets which are moving outside the purview of the business, and under the direction of the person who is actually carrying on the business, who is responsible for conducting the affairs of the business. If under his guidance, under his direction, if the assets are moving out of the business or disposed of or transferred, then that will be considered as a, you can say, transfer of asset, which will be considered as a supply. Then maybe it is for the consideration or not for the consideration, whatever, but that will be considered as a supply. Then next it says there are cases where a person ceases to be a taxable person. In such a case, if under his guidance, under his direction, if any of the goods are getting transferred or any of the goods are getting supplied to any other person, and that person is no more a taxable person, that person ceases to be a taxable person, then it will be considered that such goods are supplied before that person ceases to be a taxable person. Like suppose if I have become a non-taxable person now I am ceases to be a taxable person, but under my direction of my business I have transferred certain assets, or I have supplied certain assets of the business or certain goods of the business. Then in that case it will be assumed that those movement of asset has been done under my direction and in the time frame when I was a taxable person. This situation is different if unless it says the business is transferred as a going concern to another person. If suppose that business is now I am no more a taxable person and my business is going to some other person, then in that case that other person will become responsible for this supply. But if it is not getting the business is not getting transferred to any other person, in that case I will be the responsible person. and it will be assumed that the supply has been done under my regime of the business. After next condition, business is carried on by a personal representative who is doomed to be a taxable person. So if the business are not getting transferred to any other person, but any of my personal representative is now taking after the care of that business, in that case also it will be considered as a supply which is done by that personal representative of mine, but not me. So if the business is getting transferred to other person, then it will be considered as a you can say, if the business is getting transferred to the other person, then that other person will be responsible. If the business is handing over by some personal representative of mine, then that will be considered as a then that other person will be considered as a responsible person. But if the business is not getting transferred or not handled by the personal representative, then this supply will be considered to be assumed to be done by the person itself who ceases to be the taxable person. Then coming to the Schedule 3 here, Schedule 3 talks about the supply of goods or the services which has not been considered neither as a supply of goods or the services. So we will be discussing here the supplies which will not be considered in any case as a supply of goods or services under GST. So as you can see here, there are different conditions like services by an employee to the employer in the course or in relation to his employment. So in this case, any employee who is providing services to the employer, that will not be considered as a supply. That is considered as his responsibilities and duties against which that person is drawing the, you can say, salary. So that is not the supply of service or the goods. That is the part of his duty, what he is doing. Then services by any court or tribunal, like any court is framed out or any tribunal has been established in order to enforce any law, that is considered to be the services which is not as the supply of services under GST. It does not have any recognition under GST. Then any of the parliament members, state legislature, panchayats, municipality members, they are performing any duties that will not be a supply under GST. They are the, you can say, elected authorities to perform such duties, but that will not be considered as a supply under GST. Then the duties performed by any person who holds any post in pursuance of the provision of constitution in that capacity. Like out of constitution, if any person holds any responsibility, maybe through elections or maybe through some special you can say ruling of the government, that is the duty of that person, not considered as a supply of services. Then the duties performed by any person as a chairperson or member of or director, or you can say under state government or the central government or any local authority. Like the whole government structure is there, and under that government structure, if you are giving any services out of your duties, that will not be considered as a supply of services under GST. It has its own recognition and as the part of your duty. Then services of funeral, burial, crematorium, etc. This is not the supply of services under GST. Then sale of land, etc. Depending upon certain clause, that will not be the service. Then actionable claims other than lottery. Actionable claims here means that any you can say just bills receivables, bills payable, that is an actionable claim. For that, you don't need to pay the GST. So any actionable claims for which you can claim to the concerned party for your payment, that becomes the actionable claim. So it is not considered under GST. Then supply of goods from a place in the non-taxable territory to another place in the non-taxable territory. Of course, when the taxable territory is not involved, the movement of goods is there in the non-taxable category, or area, that will not be a supply under GST. Then supply of warehouse goods to any person before clearance for home consumption. Like here we are talking about the drawings. So drawings is not a taxable supply. Drawings you will show in your accounting records, but it is not a taxable supply. Then supply of goods by the consignee to any other person by endorsement of document of title to the goods after the goods have been discharged. So out of consignment, the consignee is transferring any goods to the other party, then before clearance, then that will not be considered. It is you can say it is similar of drawings only. That before clearance for home consumption, if the goods have been supplied by the consignee, then that will not be considered as a supply under GST. So these all are the situations, as we have discussed under Schedule 3, these all are the situations where the supply will not be considered as a supply, uh, the goods are moving or the services are moving, services are being given, but that services or the goods will not be considered as a supply under GST.